Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody on the committee that was involved in the process on Saturday, from precinct delegates all the way up to those who brokered this deal. And I know it was a great deal of work, and everybody put a lot of effort into it, and I commend you for it, and I thank you for it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Steve Lanius, District 2 County Commissioner. I see some new faces in here tonight. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to extend on what Jonathan and John was saying. These are the values we have in our party, and it's about commitment to these values. And everybody out here tonight needs to be committed to these values and put forth the effort to engage and to get precinct delegates rounded up and elected to the places that we need to have them in each township throughout the county, or we will lose this. And the other thing that we need to do, along with these, is recognize the fact that we have Jesus Christ on our side. Amen. Okay? And I've heard a lot of rhetoric about going around and doing this and doing that, but I haven't heard a lot about prayer. And we need prayer.
Yes, sir.
And on that note, I'm going to take you back to our last commissioners meeting, and there's a lot of controversy over what was going on at the last commissioners meeting. There was a prayer that was said, a very controversial prayer. I didn't like it. Some people said on the internet that we should have got up and walked out. But I'd like to explain a little something in that situation. When you go into a meeting like that, and I think John can attest to it, and you stand up and someone is delegated to say prayer, you all stand in silence and you listen. And at that point in time, we're blindsided, okay? My position is Jesus Christ, and I don't care what anybody says. I've been pronounced dead once. I know death doesn't hurt, and I know there's life after death, okay? So I'm going to stand on my convictions of Jesus Christ. Legally, I think the person had every right to say what he did. I don't like it, many of you don't. Anybody that does, let's have a talk, okay?
What did he say?
It's posted online, and I don't know if I want to get into it, okay?
Let's not.
Pardon me?
Let's not.
It's, yeah, I really don't want to go there tonight, but you can find it online. It's not hard to find. So that's what I have to say about that, okay? So this is, you have to forgive me a little bit. I got a little jet lag left. I just spent a week in California. And if you think we got problems here, you gotta go to California. I'm telling you, it's an ugly scene out there. I've been to LA 5 or 6 times. The beautiful thing about LA right now is they got a lot of water and it's green. But there are more homeless people out there than you can ever even imagine. And the way the city is dealing with them now, they're buying campers and they put them on the side streets. Not main streets where you drive up and down and you see city things. They put them on the side streets. And they got campers. And they put them on blocks and everything for the homeless people to live in. It's quite a sight. It's pretty disgusting. But anyway, so forgive me for my jet lag a little bit. I've had some questions about the commissioner's position and some of the things that we do. And I was unaware of some of them, but I'm aware now after 14 months. We have assignments to do. And so there are different committees that you're on. And like myself, and I'll use myself for an example, I'm on the Human Services Committee, okay? I'm the chair of the Human Services. So I have to go around and attend all these meetings from all these establishments around our county that deal with human services. The health department in Coldwater is one of them. The senior center is another. And I will tell you, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 human service establishments in Hillsdale County. 20. And of these 20, all of them but the senior center are grant funded. Okay? So you say, well, so what? Well, I want you to think about the perspective of this. Because if there's 20 entities out here that are grant funded, that's all taxpayer money. That's all taxpayer money, and 20 of them just in Hillsdale County alone. And we have them, you know, they all get $3 million for this, and they get $2 million for that. That's all money coming out of your pocket. Because the grants come from the government. Where does the government get your money? Where do they get their money? They get it out of your pocket, right? So, why do we have so many of these establishments? Well, I got to go back to the church. The church has kind of dropped the ball. Right. Because if we as people were taking care of each other, we wouldn't need all these establishments. They wouldn't be dipping into our pocket that way.
If they'd stop taking our taxes, we could take care of more people.
Pardon me?
If they'd stop taking our taxes, we could take care of more people.
You're absolutely right. Isn't this a crazy train we're on?
Yes.
It's just a crazy train that we're on. So, enough about that right now. So, anyway, I've been asked several times about the courthouse. To this date, so far, we know that we've spent, I believe it's $8.7 million on it. We just got another invoice. I don't know what the total of that invoice is. We got a ways to go on the courthouse before it's done. My estimation would probably finish up about $12 million. Okay, so.
It's a museum.
Pardon me?
It's a museum.
Yeah, it could have been a museum, huh?
No
Yeah.
courthouse.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to build courthouses.
Well, we'll see where that ends up,
They
John.
just stay in there.
We'll see where that ends up.
Big turns.
Yeah. So, a couple other things tonight. One of the big things that's coming through, and this is a state requirement, and it's a mandated policy or law, I guess, if you will. Garbage. Anybody think about garbage? Well, you're going to be thinking about it because the state has issued that every county is now going to have their own recycling center, okay, by 2027. And we're going to be up to 35% recyclable. That's huge, and you might not think so, but what they have put out is a 9-person commission. Okay, so you're going to have people from trucking, trash, to people who are specialized in composting, and just every facet of the trash that you can imagine is going to be represented by an individual. Well, that committee somehow is going to have to be paid for. This whole thing is going to have to be paid for. So they're going to come back, and your taxes are going to get hit again. I can assure you that's going to happen. Go ahead, Lance.
What happens if the county says no?
Then the state comes in and does it for us.
What happens if you tell them no?
Well, now we're back to voting, aren't we? We're back to voting a constitutional sheriff that will stand at the county line and say, you can't come in here. Right? Right? So this all comes back to who you're going to put in office. In every facet of your life, we're being attacked. Okay? And I want you to understand this. I go to many committees, and I'll give you an example. I go to the Michigan Works Committee in Ann Arbor now. They moved it to Ann Arbor. So I have to attend that meeting up there. In one of our meetings, one of the representatives from Washtenaw County said that if we give out apprenticeship money, the companies that receive the apprenticeship money should be DEI compliant. Does everybody know what DEI compliant is? Okay? Diversity, inclusion, equality. Okay? So now, I'm going to take you one more step backwards. Michigan Works is funded 97% by grants. That's your money. That's your money. That's your money. Okay? It's grant funded. I spoke up at the meeting and I said, wait a minute. You can't do that. DEI is an agenda. You can't finance an agenda with taxpayer dollars. Well, we'll have to bring in a specialist from Lansing and explain how this works for you. Okay? Well, they don't have to explain nothing to me. I know how it works. You either go along with the program or you're excluded. How can you be excluded when it's a DEI program? It's our way or the highway, all right? So in every direction that I see, and I don't see them all, but in every direction that I see in our government is way too big, but we're being attacked. Our Judeo-Christian values are being attacked in every facet of our life. And if we don't do something about it, speak up, pray about it, do something, we're going down. We're going down. John?
We could always secede into Indiana.
I don't know how that would legally work, but we probably could do that. Dennis?
Yeah, you keep mentioning about prayer. I was set up to do the National Day of Prayer for May 2nd, and I would like to see everyone that can to come to the courthouse at noon on May 2nd. And if you, with being a businessman and part of the thing, would lead us in prayer for the business group.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay? So, on that note, one of the things I've done is, I'm still trying to do as a commissioner is, we open our commissioner meeting with prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. So I started closing the meeting in prayer, which they've never done. Okay, so at the end of the meeting, I put forth a prayer to close our meeting out. Well, I did it twice, and then I was told that I'd be stepping on some toes. And I said, well, whose toes would I be stepping on? Well, the people that know that there's a separation of church and state. Okay? That's what I was told. So here we have commissioners that don't want me to pray and close the meeting because of separation of church and state.
Could you share which commissioner said that?
No, I'm not.
I have
I'm not
another.
throwing names.
I have another observation point. I don't know how many people recycle. I've tried to do it, and I'm really disgusted with it because they are charging at the recycle places, and the reason they charge is because there's no market, and they have to throw it away. So this idea that we're going to go to 35% recycling is an absolute farce. We need the free market to dictate this stuff.
Okay, so I will tell you this. That's all coming down from the state. Pay attention to who you're electing.
Exactly.
Okay? Know what they are. Know what they represent. It's more important this time than ever before in the history of our country.
Amen.
We have to know the people we're putting in office, or we won't have a country. So, anybody else have any questions? If not, I will turn this over to...
Hey Steve, thank you for what you did, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.